Our friend Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio in Memphis said this to us several years ago at an SEC Media Days. He said, not everybody can win in this league. Somebody has to lose. What prophetic words from Brett. The thing is, who's stepping forward to lose in the SEC? Well, we'll talk about that more in a second. Hi there, I'm Bruce Marshall, and we're going to talk college football season wins for 2026 the next few moments here, and it's Arkansas we're going to be talking about. They have fit that description that Brett was talking about. Somebody has to lose in the SEC. In recent years, it's been Arkansas. And we'll be talking about the Razorbacks here. They've posted a price, and we think to drill a little bit deeper, there's some things to look at and maybe an advantage or two that we can find in this season wins total for Arkansas. We'll get to all that in just a second. First of all, though, quick housekeeping reminder. As always, don't forget, click that subscribe button on your screen there. Make sure you get all of our WagerTalk TV videos. And don't forget, we are coming up on football season really quick here and still toward the end of summer. And that summer special we've got through the end of August. It's good still through the end of August. That's 3 days of my picks for $69. We'll add 3 days free on top of that. That's 6 days for $69. And don't forget, with football season here, hey, why not get everything? All of my picks through December 31st. For the rest of 2026, we've reduced that price down to $7.99. That's an almost $700 savings from the monthly price. All football, NFL, preseason right now, regular season coming soon, college football. We're right on the verge of the college football season. Baseball, having a really good summer in MLB. Basketball coming soon, NBA college hoops, NHL coming soon, and Euro soccer as well. All my picks all the way through December 31st, just $799. Okay, let's talk about Arkansas here. As you can see from the crawl at the bottom of the screen, they are posted a win total for 2026 at 4.5, which is actually a pretty aggressive projection for Arkansas, considering they just won 2 games last year, and they have fit. They've been the team. It's been them. They've sort of taken Vanderbilt's old role in the league as the team. Somebody has to lose. In recent years, it's been Arkansas. They have priced that pretty, shaded that to the under pretty strongly. Minus 155, 160. Shop around, see what you can find there, and about a plus 125, 130 to get over 4.5 wins. Can Arkansas get over? Are they going to get better? They've made some changes in the offseason, and let's talk about that in just a moment. First of all, though, a reflection on what's been going on at Arkansas lately. Listen, they are starting now their 35th season in the SEC. Where did time go? I can remember them still playing in the Southwest Conference, the old Southwest, but they left the Southwest before the Southwest disbanded. Actually, it was in 1992 they made the move to the SEC, and it's been mostly bumpy going for Arkansas since then, especially in recent times. They only have 3 appearances in the SEC title game, and none in 20 years. Last time was in 2026, and they lost, 2006. 20 years ago, they lost that one to Florida. Earlier had lost in 95 to Florida, and in 2002 to Georgia. But 20 years since they've been involved in an SEC title game. They have cycled through a lot of coaches. We've got a new one in Fayetteville this year. We'll talk about that in a second. But just going back historically there, we know Frank Broyles, the legacy that he built at Arkansas, and of course he was the athletic director for a long time at Arkansas as well, many years after he retired as head coach. People forget, Broyles last year, things went kind of sour in 1976, and he retired, slid up into the AD chair. They brought in Lou Holtz from the New York Jets. Holtz won pretty big for several years, but he and Broyles ended up clashing. He left for Minnesota, of all places, in '84. Kenny Hatfield came in from the Air Force. He was an old Arkansas player, great punt returner, led the nation in punt returns one year, if you can believe that. Option master at Air Force. He came in and to his alma mater, was there through '89. Actually didn't do too badly, but again, Broyles and him had a little clash. And then the Jack Crow era didn't go too well, and then moving into the SEC. And a little bit of success. Danny Ford, like we said, got to that one SEC title game in '95, but his career sort of faded out. Houston Nutt didn't do too badly there. He had the longest run of any Arkansas coach since Broyles, 10 seasons, but by 2007, they're ready to push him out. Nutt didn't do all that bad. And Bobby Petrino came in for his first stint at Arkansas. A lot of controversy, which follows Petrino everywhere, and taking the job, leaving the Atlanta Falcons like that was controversial. And of course, Petrino leaving Arkansas was controversial in later years. The bottom line is Arkansas, really since the SEC became turbocharged about the last 20 years, and that sort of coincides when Nick Saban came back into the league at Alabama. Georgia really took it up to the next level, first with Mark Richt and then with Kirby Smart. Florida, of course, was there with Urban Meyer for a few years, won a couple of national titles. But Arkansas has seemingly fallen behind. Not seemingly, they have fallen behind. And a succession of coaches at Fayetteville ended up a little promise early. The Brett Bielema regime was one. Sam Pittman's regime, pretty similar. Started off a little good, and then it sort of faded. And that's where Arkansas is at right now. Ryan Silverfield comes in from Memphis, and this doesn't have a lot of Arkansas people thrilled, although they might be shortchanging Silverfield a bit. Listen, he kept Memphis very relevant. He took over from Mike Norvell right in front of the Cotton Bowl game after the 2019 season when Memphis was actually, they called it then the Group of Five rep in the New Year's Six Bowls. They lost that game to Penn State. Norvell took the Florida State job before the Cotton Bowl. Silverfield was promoted, and he generally kept Memphis pretty competitive and doing quite well. 50-25 in his stint with the Tigers. Including that first year, the 2020 season, the COVID season, awkward sort of a year, but they saw through that. They battled through. They ended up winning a bowl game at the end of the season against Florida Atlantic. In fact, they qualified for a bowl every season at Memphis, though in 2021, they didn't play that game in Hawaii because the later stages of COVID and the Omicron, as they called it then, scotched that bowl. But they went to bowls every year, did not win an American. I think that's what's got some people concerned in Fayetteville with the funding that Memphis has had. They were probably the best funded program in the American, and actually one of only two Group of Six programs. The revenue share with the full share of $21.3 million. It's them and South Florida. Why didn't Silverfield win a little bit more there? Though I thought Silverfield actually did pretty well. They also wonder about the last few Memphis coaches who have gotten a bigger job, took a step up. Justin Fuente started out kind of quick at Virginia Tech, and that faded, and he was pushed out. Mike Norvell, same thing at Florida State, started quick. Now he's fighting for his job at Florida State. So the coach is promoted from Memphis. There's some question about that at Arkansas. What's going on? How is it going to work this year for Ryan Silverfield? Well, he's hit the portal very hard, and it was a big turnover from last year. They had 67 players leave from last year, 48 new guys coming in from the portal, plus several freshmen. A couple of key guys from last year. When, by the way, Sam Pittman was fired at the end of September, and Bobby Petrino took over after that. And Arkansas didn't actually play that badly the rest of the way. They were in a lot of games. They just didn't win. Finishing 2-10, winless in the SEC, but 6 of those losses last year were by a single score. So they weren't that far away, but they've made this change. And there's a couple of guys who might be difficult to replace. Taylon Green, the quarterback, drafted by the Browns. He's in Cleveland's camp, will probably make the team in the NFL. Mike Washington, running back, 4th-round pick by the Raiders, had a big run in his first preseason game against the Cardinals. He'll make the Raiders roster. Those aren't going to be that easy guys to replace. KJ Jackson, left-hander, somewhat similar to Taylon Green in his style, kind of skiddery holdover in a quarterback battle with A.J. Hill, who has come along with Silverfield and his offensive coordinator, Tim Cramsey from Memphis, in a spirited battle for the quarterback job, which had not been resolved by late August. There's a chance Silverfield uses both of these guys. They both seem like they can do some of the same things. Sutton Smith, another running back who comes from Memphis, he's been hurt, though, in fall camp. But Braylon Russell, productive running back recently for Arkansas, he's back there hoping that he and Smith give them a 1-2 thunder and lightning punch at running back. But we want to get Smith healthy there. Receiving core, they have some hopes there. And the offensive front, they hope they can some of the newcomers can get plugged in there. Speaking of newcomers, a lot of them on defense coming in for coordinator Ron Roberts, veteran coordinator, and he thinks he's got some portal ads who can step in there and can make some things happen. But what's going to happen with Arkansas in this league? Listen, last year they couldn't win in the SEC. And this year, They've got 3 non-conference games, North Alabama and Tulsa. They'll probably be favored. They will be favored. Those games both in Fayetteville. Those look like the only games they'll probably be favored this season. The other non-conference game is at Utah. They will definitely be an underdog in that one and probably an underdog in every SEC game. Even if Arkansas can win 3 games in the all 3 non-conference games, that would include a win at Utah, they'd still have to win 2 SEC games. They couldn't win 1 last year with the new quarterback coming in and all the changes on the roster and the SEC being so loaded. And you look at that schedule, there's no soft spots in the SEC. To get to 5 wins is going to be asking an awful lot. That's why I'm going to recommend an under here, but cautiously so. You can see I put an asterisk by the under recommendation on the crawl there. That's because that price, I'm not too interested. 155, 160, that is a rather hefty price. So shop around. You can also consider this as a caution not to go over with Arkansas. So that's another way you can look at it. But I don't think they're going to get 3-4 at max. So this 4.5 looks too high to me, and I don't think they'll get there. If you got to lay 155 to take advantage of that, maybe you do it. Even minus 160 or so. So that's my recommendation, is an under for Arkansas in 2026. Okay. Remember, click the comment button on the screen there, and love to hear from you. If you want to make a comment, click the button on the screen right there. Don't forget some of the special offers we got going right now, including all of my picks through the rest of 2026. Special price reduced to $799. Okay, that'll do it for now. So until next time, we'll talk some more football. It's a goodbye from me.